Hi, my name is David Maley, and today we're going to talk about a great sales technique that's going to get you past one of those hurdles that I hear all the time from sales reps. I can't get past someone's voicemail. I can't get them to call me. I can't get them to respond. So what happens is the sales reps call on their sales lists of their prospects, the people they want to sell to, or their previous customers they've already sold to and want to sell something to again. And the problem is they get put to voicemail. Everybody nowadays has voicemail. Whether it be a business you're calling on, whether it's an individual you're calling on, it doesn't matter. They have voicemail or they have an answering machine or they have both. And the problem is that 90% of these people that you leave messages for, when you say, "Hi, this is Bob Allen calling with ABC Sales Company, please call me back," they don't call you back. It's probably closer to almost 100% that they don't. So how do you turn that around? How do we make it and spin it so that almost all of them do call you back? Well, what it takes is a little bit of creativity and just a little bit of effort on your behalf. What I'm talking about is changing the game up a little bit. So instead of just leaving a message and hoping they call back, and they almost never do, and wasting your time, let's spin around a little bit. Instead, think about this. You ever hear those games when we were kids you grew up playing, like Trivial Pursuit? There's a lot of games, they're based around trivia questions. Now think about it this way. If you left a question on your prospect's voicemail or their answer machine, and that question was something related to their business or their industry that was interesting, and you were to say, "Hi," in the voicemail message, "Hi, this is your name," in my case David Maley, "Hi, this is David Maley calling with ABC Sales Company, and I have a question for you. What is the percentage of X, Y, and Z?" Something that's interesting, something that would perk them up. Leave a message like that. And what you should also do is strive to have about 20 to 30 questions, trivia questions, related to that industry that you're in or the industry of your prospects. And have those ready for when you do your sales calls. Whenever you hit a voicemail for that one day, use the same one for each one. That way you've got the same answer to every question for that day when they call you back. And what's interesting is by giving them a trivia question where you're not giving them the answer and you're asking them, "If you want the answer to this, please call me back," or "Call me back, here's my number, X, Y, and Z." Guess what? Over 50% of the people you call with a message like that are going to call you back. It's human nature. They want to know. Second thing, which on an underhand way this thing does, it's completely underhand, it increases your trust. Your trust goes through the roof. Well, guess what? Trust is something you just can't even buy. Trust is something you develop over time. Trust is something your customers see because you have character. But when they call back, "Hey, I called this guy back because I want to know the answer to that question." And if you're a legitimate salesperson, you got a legitimate answer to it, you're not just BSing them and trying to pump something on them, guess what? Your trust factor is high. So your trust factor is high. They're going to trust you more. They're going to call you back. And what's this going to evolve into and result in? More sales. Lots more sales. Because when you call on those calling lists, whether it be sales leads that you get, whatever those lists are from an event, from previous customers, from another sales rep that's no longer there, whatever, the off-lease sales, anything, whatever this list is or this data is that you're calling on, you want those people to call you back. Well, if 90% or more of your customers are on voicemail, and right now you've got maybe 1% of them calling you back if you're lucky, now you've just increased that to over 50% by that technique. Then on top of it, they're going to trust you more, which means it's less of a price issue when you sell them something, which is huge. So those two factors right there will make you want to use this technique. It's a very simple technique. Make a list. Make it a priority on Monday morning, first thing when you have free time, to go create a list of trivia questions. Things related to your industry or the industry of your prospects, if they're in a different industry. And then, when you go through your sales calls, when you go through your prospect lists, which it's all a numbers game, it's just how many people can you call, and what you're doing is you're cranking that up. You're turning up the notch saying, okay, instead of getting 1% to call me back, which is the industry average at best, now you're going to be over 50%. That's 50 times the reaction. Then on top of it, your trust factor is higher. So even if your trust factor is at 0, which I hope it's not, you should see a 2 or 3-fold increase in sales right there, because they're not going to ask you, and it's going to be easier too, because they're not going to be as much on price as they would be without. Terrible salespeople are always having to sell people on price. They're always having to bend over backwards and having to make price cuts, and they sell things at minimum cost, minimum deals. They don't make a whole lot and they don't stick around. Great salespeople have great trust and implement techniques like this to increase trust factors and to increase the return on their investment of their time on these sales calls. So think about that. Try and use this technique, turn your sales around, reinvigorate your sales, and make more money. And then when you're done and you've done that, go out and teach someone else what you know. Help someone else. I believe in the pay it forward principle. Thanks, and have a great day.